Bees Golf Studio presents Tip It Out Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon, Blake, and Noah.
All right, guys. Long hiatus, so that means it's a quick turnaround for us. We just filmed last week, but had to get this one out for the PGA Championship. A lot of cool stuff coming up. How you guys been?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just a little tired today.
I kind of just woke up.
Text.
Did you wake up when I called you?
Yeah.
Did you blame it on Evelyn?
We were watching boring ass NBA basketball.
What game?
Celtics Cavs game.
I don't know. I haven't followed playoffs at all, but I'm kind of happy to see the Knicks up there.
So I'm normally I don't know if this is a topic start that we wanted to get into, but normally this time of the year I'm a big hockey playoffs guy. Like type of person that doesn't miss a game of the hockey playoffs and just dialed into it. Anthony Edwards has kind of changed that attitude for me this year, where I've watched a shit ton of NBA playoffs for the first time in my life. Fell asleep to it tonight, so take that for granted. But yeah, no, I kind of got whoever really wins that Nuggets, Wolves.
The Wolves.
Yeah, the Wolves
The Wolves
is
It's
kind
over
of
anyway.
is kind of who I'm going for, but yeah, it's pretty much done. I don't think the Wolves can come out of it. Wolves.
Are the Wolves are Western Conference then?
You no idea.
I think so. If they're playing the Nuggets, I think it would be sweet to see, and I don't think it'll happen. And I'm not following at all. So, Wolves Knicks would be a sick finals. The Wolves and the Knicks.
The Knicks are fun to watch too. I mean, Brunson's legit.
Yeah.
It's the type of guy that makes you think you have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and like I said, it's funny how we're on NBA night now, but I think it's cool, and I think the reason I'm kind of like enjoying it a little bit is the fact that there's different teams, right? Like when I was kind of watching it, like it was in that like right when I was graduating high school in 2015, it was Cavs Warriors, right?
Yeah,
Before that, it was their Heat with their dynasty. It's like with anything, right? It's always cool to see that there's multiple different teams that can win and teams you're not used to. My Bulls still suck, but it is what it is. So, do you follow NBA now, other than betting?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I follow it, but I don't really watch it. I watch the playoffs. I know everything that happens, but I don't really sit down and watch play it. Yeah.
When I was playing video games a lot, it was fun. I kind of knew who was who, and just playing NBA 2K was always fun. But I haven't played video games in a hot minute. But I'm excited. Another thing we weren't going to talk about, but we're going to talk about NCAA football coming out 25. I'm going to be a child again.
I contemplated buying another gaming console instead of my PC.
It's coming on PC, though. It's coming out on PC.
Yeah, but I want it to be one of those games that I just lay in bed late at night and just dive into. And
what would be sick if it was on like Nintendo Switch or something, and you can just sit in the bed and buy a Nintendo Switch. I think I'm barely going to get by with maybe purchasing the game, so I'll take the PC for what it's worth. But I have a lot of work from home hours built up, so maybe.
All right, let's dive into the start of the PGA Championship, Major Number 2.
Let's talk about the Wells Fargo first.
All right, let's talk about Wells Fargo.
I mean, that'll lead into the PGA a little better.
2-man race on that Wells Fargo. I kind of like that as a 2-man race, but
I mean,
I'd like anybody having a chance down the stretch.
Xander's one of those guys that, I mean, preach it every single time he's in contention that just want him to do it so dang bad. It's
He
insane.
won't though.
I just don't like
won't.
Xander. Yeah,
I
we
love
talked
him.
about that a couple months ago, right? It was him and Cantley, how they just can't get it done. And it's interesting to see it kind of come to fruition. I mean, at some point I don't root for the guy, but at some point being in contention so often, you just want him to get one just so you have to stop watching it.
Honestly.
It's tough to watch sometimes, but overall now Quail, that's where they play the Tour Championship, right? Is that right?
No,
That's not where they do it?
no, they play that at East Lake.
East Lake, that's right. Okay. Never mind.
Quail, they always do. Well, speaking of Quail and PGA Championship, Quail is hosting the PGA Championship next year. Hosted the President's Cup last year. And then they always host the Wells Fargo. But no, my head pro and first assistant went down on Thursday to Quail and watched. Unfortunately, I was stuck in the shop, didn't get to go. But
what a bum.
That place, like, across my fingers, our head pro, because we have a couple members that are members there too, and across my fingers, he says that this fall that we should get to play it.
They'll be sick.
Tournament conditions, what they're playing in, what do you shoot?
Well, according to our head pro, who's played it a bunch of times, he says that's one of the rare courses where they pretty much always keep it in tournament conditions.
Oh, no way.
Okay, what do you shoot?
So, according to him as well, they don't open a lot of the back tees, but it's a beast anyway. I mean, they go back and forth. So, like, their back tees on a normal basis, like half of those holes will be the ones they played, and then some of the way back tees or whatever that they play at aren't open. But I would say, and he's played there. I know he's played there, and a couple other guys I know from around here have played there. Judging by what they shot, I would say.
Wait, don't say anything yet. Blake, what would Noah shoot off the top? Okay. What are you thinking you were last?
Okay. We're gonna set the line. We're gonna set the line at over under
84.5. No,
I was gonna say 91.
88.5.
So
let's go 89.5 or 90.5. One of those.
Okay,
things.
Love, I'm taking the over. I'm thinking the number you shoot's 94.
Ooh, I'd give you more respect than that.
I feel like I'm shooting 91 to 95 is my number that I'm happy with.
I'm thinking Noah comes out, and I think he'll be okay. He's going to shoot about 85, and I think he's happy with 85. Anything less than that is tough. And what was your number, Noah? 78.
Mine was 83 to 85.
Okay. Oh.
I mean, got to be reasonable.
I won't shoot in the 90s.
I'm sorry.
I'm a little better than that.
It can happen, though. You can't say you're not going to shoot 90s.
Blake's never really seen me actually play that much, so.
No, I think
we've only played together like 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'll be relatively fine off the tee. I think if you're smart about where you hit the ball, I think you'd be fine. I think with anybody, but I think that those greens are actually pretty tough, is what it looks like.
No, the greens are really tough, but I know guys who have shot around 80 that I'm constantly beating / right there with. That there 1 or 2 times that they played Quail or right around there. So yeah. I'm saying if I play well, I'm sitting right around sniffing 80. If I play bad, I'm somewhere between 85 and 90.
I think if you break 80, you're ecstatic regardless.
Yeah, no, I would be completely content with that.
I think all 3 of us would be ecstatic with that. So we're not singling out.
I'm happy with the 90 out there. If I'm going to be I'm happy with a 90 at any course that the PGA players play on. If I'm playing from the exact same tees and pins and conditions that they're in.
If I'm never going to play in a PGA Tour tournament whatsoever, I mean, that's ultimately the goal in some way, just to play in one. But if I ever didn't get to do that, I would want to play the tournament conditions just to see that one time, just be like, just see how it plays and everything like that. I think that would be sick to do. Because anymore, I feel like my bad days aren't as bad as I think. Like we talked about the US Open qualifier, hit the ball like absolute garbage. And granted, that's not an incredibly long or tough course, but I think if I played like that at Quail Hall, I probably would have been right about 90. So I think anymore, with really most of us, like Noah said, I think it'd be hard for us to get 90s unless it's an incredibly tough course.
Their course rating is only a 77, so yeah, that's not terrible. 77 Well, I mean,
only a 77.
Thinking of what it was going to be, I'm thinking like for myself, 80s high. The par threes are kind of the numbers I key off of. So par 3, 185, 250, 208, 225.
Yeah,
it's long.
So I don't know. I think we need to try to find something to where we all get to go play something cool. And I was thinking about this today, and we need to. I saw somebody, they have it like their buddy tour or whatever, and they just go out somewhere and play like 3 rounds of golf or 2 rounds of golf, and they just like straight stroke play. And I think like that would be absolutely sick, even if it's just like at a wherever course, like we don't spend hardly any money and we just go do that like every year would be just sick, and just like start a bragging rights. And then if we get bigger, then we invite more people or whatever. I just think that would be really cool to do. And we'll each have we'll see how many of we can rack up, you know, who's the best golfer out of the bunch. Because I think all 3 of us, it would be pretty competitive over time. But that's just me. Anyway, back to Wells Fargo. Rory got it done. That's his 4th win there in the Wells Fargo. Is that right?
Yeah, but he's only winning half of his earnings.
He is a prenup, my guy.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Did he have a prenup?
He did.
That's awesome.
He enacted it too. I mean, he got married like late enough where he was already
fine.
Obviously a millionaire, but like he was already
successful.
He probably already had $100 to $200 million in the bank. Like you don't just marry a new girl when you have that much money and not get one. But I mean, she's gonna be fine too. But he's fine.
Well, does this just get him into live? Is this just like him saying?
How is that a live? People have said that so many times. I don't understand how to live.
Because it takes more of like the family and that aspect out of it, where it's more of just like, okay, now I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna dive in and.
But I feel like the family aspect is more live.
Yeah,
it's more everybody.
And
so that's the thing that I had saw, but too, and then it's just like, well, it's like no, because if you think about it, with live and like the tour that they do, there's so much coast to coast type travel that they take.
Yeah, but it's 10 times a year, not 40 times.
Now he has the freedom to just play and practice golf all the time. Well, obviously, he still has his daughter, but
yeah, I saw something after
he can grind.
After he broke up with Wozniacki or whatever, and there was an article and it said, "I play better golf since the breakup" or whatever. I mean,
I want to talk about how it's like. How it's like the same. Like when 14, when he broke up with her, it was literally like after just winning the Wells Fargo, and then he won the PGA the next week, went on a tear, and now like literally history is repeating itself. So.
Did you take Rory for our one and done?
Yes, I did actually.
Did you? You took Brooks, Blake?
I didn't really want to, but
I haven't picked yet. I need to send it out, but I'm thinking, mostly because I can't remember who I picked and I don't want to mess that up. I think I'm going to lean towards Bryson. I think Bryson can either catapult me or bring me down farther. So I don't think it's just going to be middle of the pack for him. But let's keep on. Go ahead.
I mean, to jump into the PGA, from what I heard from what I saw from some of the reporters, is that it's going to be a driving contest. Like people are banging driver on every hole they can because
it's just really long. It's like 7,700 par 71. So
because
so
it doesn't matter how accurate you are because you're either going to hit a fairway and have to hit a 3-wood then, or you're just going to miss the fairway and then have a no shot because you're in the rough. So I think everybody's thinking
it still matters, but
the
rough there is really, really thick.
But I think what everybody's thinking is that my percentage of being in the rough's the exact same for the most part of what I'm going to be comfortable hitting off the tee to have a comfortable second shot, that they're just fine banging driver because then they at least are having to get a 6-iron out of the rough to get close to the green instead of having to pull a 6-iron and have still a 140-yard shot in or 120-yard shot in. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much. I just saw.
I'm jacked for the tournament.
I think Valhalla. I'm ready to see Valhalla. I don't remember the last time it was played there.
Was it when Tiger won?
I don't remember. It's just been a minute for I think so. I think that course is sick, and I'm just ready to really watch it and see exactly what it is.
I don't know how good of a major championship course it is, though.
I mean, if they're playing it long and tight rough,
but I mean, from what that's what everybody's saying too, and everybody's saying it's really long, the greens are really small, and everything. And I get that it's soft because it's rain. It has rained, and it's supposed to rain on Friday. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I saw a couple of things that some people were saying the winning score would be 13 under ish, and then I saw a tweet that said a lot of the caddies were saying that they expect it to be 20 under.
Oh wow!
And if it gets even to 13, if it's in between 13 and 20, that's not that's not
a PGA. That's a PGA score though.
It's not U.S. Open.
That's the old school PGA. The PGA Championship's kind of shifted towards a more U.S. Open type feel the last few years. But I
think this is our major, Noah, right? This is our major.
It is.
Okay?
It is.
It's our organization's major. I am. I pay my dues. I'm in the Midwest section.
Nah.
But yeah, that's just. I think the PGA needs to not be the U.S. Open. I don't want to see 20 under, but I don't want to see 3 under in the PGA. I want to see right around 10. If a guy gets into double digits, I want it to be pretty good, but I don't want to see not a lot of people over par. I want to see really good golf. I want you to be penalized for a bad swing, but I don't want you to have to grind if you're striking the ball really well, if that makes sense. The U.S. Open can be a grind, even if you're just hitting the ball amazing.
I see it both kind of ways because, and I kind of get that, but I also kind of get if you're playing in a major, that should be to a certain extent, those should kind of be the 4 hardest golf courses you play that year. That should be the 4 biggest tests that these guys play because it's the best players in the world, and that's what you want to watch the best players in the world play on.
Yeah, that is what the PGA said last year too about LIV is that they want this to be the best of the best every single year, and I think right now the U.S. Open is the toughest test. And then you have the other 3 majors that just kind of rotate based on it. But I think and I know I just said that I don't want it to be there, but I think the PGA is leaning to be if you can win any major, we want everybody to have it be the PGA because they know that you're playing the best of the best. As Taylor Gooch would say that there's an asterisk, right? They don't want an asterisk. So, but.
So the last time the PGA Championship was at Valhalla was 2014. So 10 years ago, and Rory McIlroy won.
Right after coming off of Wells Fargo.
What was his winning score that year?
12. 3 under.
Is that all it was?
Wow.
6. No, sorry, 3 under the final round, 16 total.
16 total. Okay,
16 total.
Phil Mickelson.
Phil
We'll see
Mickelson
somewhere.
came in second at 15 under par, and Rory McIlroy, Henrik Stenson tied for third at 14.
Whatever happened to him, Stenson? Is he on live or is he on just not playing?
Pretty sure he went to live.
He's a live guy.
He just hasn't done shit in live, I guess, or what?
Guess not.
But let's touch on quick, since we talked about family already, on the flip side, like with divorce. Did you see what Ted Scott's doing?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? So Ted
Yeah,
Scott,
absolutely.
Blake, is his daughter. I don't know if it's daughter or son, honestly. His kid graduates on Saturday.
Oh,
so he's
shit.
gonna caddy Thursday, Friday, fly out Friday, go to graduation on Saturday, and come back Saturday evening. So he's not gonna caddy for Scotty on Saturday, which I think is awesome. Like Scotty is like the dude for doing that. Like he said, like family comes first. Like I mean, that's why he sat out the past 2 tournaments. I mean, it's your first kid. That's a lot bigger than a graduation, but I think that's sick. So he's having the PGA's chaplain, I think, caddy for him on Saturday. I want to say his name is like Bryce or Bruce or something.
It's kind of dope. I could actually like that a lot. Ted didn't caddy for Scotty a couple weeks ago either. So he's been taking some time off, it seems like.
Well, Scotty hasn't played in 2 weeks?
Oh no, who am I thinking of?
He's caddying for Scotty.
I'm thinking of Joel Damon. His caddy took a break a couple weeks ago, but was back. Yes, was back.
It's funny how you get those two mixed up.
Yeah. Again, I fell asleep. I just woke up. So
yeah. Hey guys, why don't you fact check and see if Ted Scott took a little hiatus for Scotty there?
I don't think he hasn't caddied on a Monday or Tuesday in a while.
Mm-hmm. No, well, I mean, Scotty hasn't played a weekend in a while. You know, I mean, we talk about that. You know, he doesn't know what it's like playing a weekend. It's not because he's missed cuts, but let's see how much dad weight he's put on. I mean, it'll be curious to see. Did you guys see? I just saw a TikTok of it, Scotty balling out on like a college campus or something in basketball. I don't know how long ago it was, but I just saw a video of him balling out. But he can stroke it pretty well. He's got a good little jump shot. But yeah, I just think that's actually really cool of Scotty. I'm sure Ted would be fine with just missing. I don't know, with one paycheck. I mean, he's not going to be hurting, but to be able to I'm sure he'll still collect a paycheck at the end of this week. But back to like the driving thing. I just saw a thing on Johnston Wagner. You guys know who that is? He used to play on tour, and now he's like a commentator for analyst for Golf Channel. They were doing like, you know how they do those like hole walkthroughs, and they'll like throw a couple ball downs or like chip a ball to show you how everything reacts, and they walk through it. He was like, yeah, I've talked to some of the guys, and basically, if you don't have 180 ball speed, you should just go home. Is what he was saying. Like he goes, it's just so long. And fun fact, they asked him to. They're like, so there's a guy. And they go, how many people on tour have 180 ball speed on average? He goes, there's like 31 of them. And the other guy was like, do you know who's not on that list? And he goes, no. And they go, Scotty Scheffler. He goes, Scotty Scheffler. He goes, well, that's the anomaly. He goes, that he always has a chance with how straight he hits it. But I guess it's going to play long. They were saying on one hole, it was a par 4 that Jake Knapp was expecting. Jake Knapp's long. I mean, he's not one of the longest on tours, but Jake Knapp was.
He's one of the longest on tour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there's like a handful above him. It's not like he's the top dog, is kind of what I'm saying, but he's long. And he said that on one par 4, he's expecting to have 5 iron in every single day. So seeing a guy that long having to go driver 5 iron into a par 4 is going to be pretty tough to see how those guys play it. But I think the sneaky pick for you, Blake, why don't you just take your boy that you picked to win the FedEx Cup? You know, I mean, he's super long. Brian Harman, he's about as long as his putter.
Long as his putter. I I don't know. I mean, I might have to pull Brooks Koepka and throw Michael Block as my pick for the week. I mean, last year after his
I can't stand hearing shit about him all week. It's pissing me off.
It's a great story though.
It's grind
it was
my
last year, but now it's over.
grind
Like,
my gears.
It's been
too.
over for a year. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
And then I saw something. I think it was today or yesterday that was like, right after the major last year, he went to Valhalla and tied the course record. I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
I mean, he did, but
yeah, that was in August.
Not hard to
last year.
do. Not hard to do when you're playing with your buddies from the member teeth.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, Noah, we're your buddies. We'll play the member tees at Valhalla.
Well, okay,
Let's
let
see
me
if you can
rephrase
go
that.
shoot 63.
It is hard to do, but it's easier than playing in the PGA Championship when you're with your buddies playing from the member tees, not 7,700 yards.
I will say though, with that is, and I don't think he'll do that great. I root for him. It's a great.
It was so
great
cool.
thing. I'm rooting for all PGA pros. I mean, that's the dream as a PGA pro, to play in your PGA Professional Championship, get top 20, and then be able to play in your organization's major. Like that's the dream of any PGA pro, and it's awesome. So I'm rooting for all of them, but it does come to show that, like, even though shooting 63 from the members tees, which I'm sure he played from the tips or as close to the tips as he can get, but he still knows his way around that golf course, right? I mean,
dude, the amount of success that he had in whatever it was, whether it was YouTube videos or anything that was right after that major, was unbelievable. And I can't say it wasn't. I started to not like the guy after some comments that he made, and I don't remember what they were verbatim, so it's hard to say, but it was so cool, like, rooting for him to make a par on the last, to make that top, whatever it was, to escalate him. Was it 15? I thought it was lower, but
no,
not 15 to play this year.
Yeah, so like, it was.
Which I'm glad he got, because he got T39 in the PGA Professional Championship, so he wouldn't have even been playing.
It was just cool. It was so cool. Him making an ace, but some of the shit that came out of his mouth afterwards was just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the people's hero right now. Like, keep the humble attitude. Don't say shit. Like, tell your buddies whatever the hell you want to tell them, but fake it on the fucking news. I don't care.
I mean, that's exactly what he did, though. I mean, he may have said one or two things on YouTube, but
no, I mean, he said some stuff in media that came back and just really bit his ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's also how you take it, though, because he literally, I just saw a podcast of him last year, and he goes, and he was humble about it. He goes, I had my A+ game, and I got tied 15th. He goes, that's why I'm not on tour. He goes, I don't want to play my best golf and be 15th. He goes, if I play my best golf against club pros, he goes, I'm winning the tournament. He goes, I'm not on tour for that reason. And he even said during the thing, too, during the tournament last year, that he goes, if I have to make par, then I have a chance. Like, if par is a good score, then I have a chance to win that tournament. But and that's why he didn't have any success in the PGA tournaments after, is because it's a birdie fest, and he can't keep up with these guys. He goes, and he just showed, like, there, he goes, I had my A+ game, and there was 15 guys that were better than me. He goes, and they probably didn't even have their A+ game. So I think part of it's the media, and I mean, let's be honest, if all of us were in that shoes, we'd say some stupid shit too. After all the different interviews he had, I'm sure we'd slip up once or twice, if not more.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure. I'm definitely not in his shoes and never will be in his shoes, and that's a blessing in most ways.
All that being said, I'm not a huge fan of him either.
So, kind of moving on, looking at pairings. The Duffner's going to be back. That'll be fun.
Well, PGA champion.
Playing with Jake Knapp and Francesco Molinari. So,
what a terrible group.
That'll be.
I feel bad for Jake. I feel bad for Jake because I mean you're feeding off your
You're
guys you're
feeding
playing
off.
with, and
So
I don't think they're going to be doing that.
love to hear you say that, because we also have in a grouping 4 tee times, 5 tee times afterwards with Wyndham Clark, Scotty Scheffler, and the Brian Harmon playing together.
Dude, I saw a tweet.
So Brian might be long on that group playing off his teammates.
Dude, I saw a tweet that said somebody was like, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was something like, "Would you quit fucking putting Brian Harmon with all these great players? We're tired of watching him play it all."
Well, that's
His
That-
Because he just takes
okay.
so long.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I believe that grouping is your Open champion, your U.S. Open champion, and your Masters champion.
It is.
That has nothing to do with who's playing well right now.
But no,
That is your path.
recently he's been playing with like the top guys like every week.
Yeah.
And I think people are just tired of that. But no, it made me laugh when I came across it. Even though I've grown to like him a little more than I used to, but still.
I didn't like him till last year, honestly. I wasn't a Brian Harmon guy, and then just kind of, I mean, he won. What was it? What major did he win last year?
The Open.
It was the Open.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of escalated him, and just like the humble attitude that he had and who he was, and him being 4'7" was just super cool.
Guys, let's go to the comments and call Blake a bandwagon.
Yeah.
Do it.
Won the Open Championship. He's winning the FedEx Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he won the Open Championship. I became a fan of him. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I became a fan of him.
Back to back.
I'm rooting for everyone's NBA
I
championship.
put my money where my mouth is, and I picked him in our fantasy shit. So let's settle down a little.
But do you know what's crazy about that is they actually said when he first came on tour, he was one of the fastest players.
No way.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the fastest players, and he started playing so poorly because the whole tournament takes so long, the whole rounds, that he goes, in order for me to be a good golfer, I have to slow down. He goes, because I am just trying, like he just kept getting up there and hit, try to get in a rhythm, and it's so slow. So he had to slow his whole game down, right? So like even like, I'm not sure this is exactly what he did. I have no idea, but like you would think like in order to slow yourself down, like you have to probably walk a little bit slower, right? You ask that extra question to your caddy. You do all these things to try to slow yourself down. And then for him, it's a waggle fest, I guess, is kind of what he's doing now, which to me is wild. Sorry, I'm going to get a little tangent here, and I've been talking a lot, but I'm also going to talk about this real quick. Is coming from a teaching professional, it is so crazy to me that, like, to me, like, I really like the mental game, and to me, I try to teach to have people not think so much, right? Because when they think too much, it's hard to make a real confident swing. And the more I watch like my students stand over the ball and keep looking and keep waggling, it's like you're thinking too much. But then you look on every guy on tour, they stand over the ball a lot longer than I would ever expect them to, which is wild to me.
I think it goes hand in hand with the fact that an average Joe, when they're standing over the ball for so long, is thinking about so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
But a tour pro, when they're standing over the ball and waggling, I mean, they're thinking about the exact shot they want to hit, and then once they're fully committed to that shot, then they go. Like, there's no hesitation for them.
Yeah.
Once they're ready, it's like Brian's obviously probably like waggling, but he's not thinking, oh, like, you know, a million different swing thoughts, a million different whatever thoughts. He's thinking about that one thought that him and his caddy just talked about. And then when he's finally in his head, like, okay, let's do this. And then he goes. And I think that's the bigger mental part than when you can train yourself to do that and not let yourself think about all the other stuff and just, you know, that one singular swing thought, which I think is is kind of where a lot of average Joes go wrong, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's, but still though, it's wild to me that it, like, I'm not saying it takes them that long to commit, but it takes them that long to get in that picture and be ready to fire. I mean, there's obviously some on tour that are like, one waggle and I'm ready.
John
But it's
Davis.
just, yeah, it's just weird.
Fucking love that dude.
Did you see that sick pic that they posted?
Yeah,
Him dabbing up Tiger? That was sick.
that was sweet. And the picture of him with Brooks' son.
I didn't see that
dude.
one.
Santa,
Papa Santa Claus or Uncle Santa Claus or whatever.
Uncle Santa Claus.
That was good shit.
But I will say though, what's helped my golf game is, and I'll touch on my little note there, is golf is hard. Well, so lately that's helped my golf game is doing that. Like you see those that one swing thought they had, right? And they play that out, right? They bring their club back to where they want, and that's their swing thought, right? And then when they're over the ball, you know what I'm talking about? Like how Jordan kind of feels that over the top.
I mean, Justin Thomas is the best example and of that in my opinion, because he always does his takeaway.
Yeah,
and it's always the same.
And so I've started doing my takeaway, and that's actually really helped my swing too, because then that's all you're thinking about. So I think it helps you think a little bit less. My golf is hard. Quote real quick is, I'm in the middle of the hardest swing change of my life. It is so hard. I don't think you know this, Noah, but you know how I had, speaking of John Daly, the John Daly swing, where I'm so long. Well, I've recently shortened my swing, and I hit 56 drivers because I got it down with my irons, and I was like, I cannot figure it out with my driver. So I went to the range the other day, and I ended up hitting 56 drivers because I had it on my full swing launch monitor. It told me how many I hit, and I probably had 15 of them that they showed carry yardage on my launch monitor that were less than 10 yards. It was so fucking hard. It is insane, but it's improved quite a bit. But I just want to say, like, when you have your swing your swing. But at some point, when you get to the point where you're like, I'm at the best I could ever be with this swing, you might have to change it, and it makes golf very, very hard. So that was just kind of
a few years ago, I went from playing the biggest push shot I've ever seen to playing a cut, and that took me a year. So
yeah,
I know what it's all about.
But I will say, going through a swing change is also the most fun thing ever too. Like Blake's doing a little swing change now, he kind of tend to slide. He could talk about it whenever it might be his tempo time thing or something, I don't know, but he's working on his own little swing thing change, and it's so cool. It kind of brings you back to, you're a new student, right? Like you're learning the game again, and it's so much fun to have your expectations lowered to just be happy with certain results. And I think a lot of people can take that in their golf game, is that when your expectations are so high, it's impossible to please yourself. I mean, I would hit a great shot and be pissed off about it because it didn't end up exactly where I wanted to, but I wasn't good enough to be pissed off about it either. So it's just so much fun to like humble yourself a bit and get better. It's pretty cool to see. So, but all right, well, we talked a little bit about the PGA. What are you guys' who's your picks? Who's your dark horse? Who's your guy that's going to struggle?
Do we want to jump into picking our? How did we do the Masters? Was it each one pick, or how did we do that? We each do two.
For like a make the cut thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we each picked two. Some sort of.
Well, I have a real sportsbook now, so I can do that shit.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you guys want to do here? Want me to read the different things we could do, and then we pick one?
Sure.
Yeah. And then we do it together again?
Yeah, let's do do you want to do make a cut?
PGA Championship. I honestly didn't see a make a cut thing on here.
Okay. Top 20 or whatever, top 10.
I mean, I say if we're each doing some sort of like top, like some sort of.
We can do a make a cut.
Yeah.
Can do make a cut?
Yeah, but I checked like 2 days ago, so it probably wasn't on there yet. But
I'm not saying take this, but what are Tiger's odds to make the cut?
I can't find.
I don't
the
think
cut.
I don't know if he makes the cut, but
I have top 40, and I have to win in top 40 in mine.
Tiger Woods. to
I have him
make
plus
the cut
plus
is
200 for
one,
top 40.
plus 165 for him to make the cut.
wow,
Yeah.
that's it.
I
have
might
plus-
hammer that. I thought it'd
You-
be I thought it'd be negative.
I don't think he
Or
makes the
minus.
cut though. I want to be wrong so bad, but I think the length can get to him, and I don't think his short game. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I just saw an awesome clip of his short game on the
I don't know.
range.
Tiger, and also Tiger outdrives a lot of these guys all the time.
That's true.
But
he's not as straight. He's not as straight as some of those guys. I mean, he's a 180 ball speed guy, so I don't know.
I mean, he's. I kind of think he's pretty straight. At least like what we saw with the Masters. I mean, he hit a lot of fairways in the Masters.
That's true. That's
like
true.
His driver worked really well.
I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure I'll, put my foot in my mouth by saying that. But I guess the more you guys talk about it, then yeah, I could definitely see him make the cut.
You guys want to pick two or just pick one?
Let's just each go with one and see what they are, because we might sprinkle in like a top 20 or something for some of those guys if the odds suck or whatever. But I don't hate that Tiger make the cut.
We could make it like a 5-leg or something like that total.
Yeah, let's not do anything
Whatever
crazy. I wouldn't even mind a 4-leg.
We'll see.
Each pick one and then we try to find one. But
Lead the way.
I like a Bryson top 30, top 20, depending on the odds. Like I think Bryson plays well. He's played really well on Live. I think, yeah. I think Bryson's got a good chance this week to do something decent.
Bryson top 20 is plus 115 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a
plus
Bryson
125 on here, top 20.
What's it is? Is there a top 30 or anything?
Yeah. Top 30 is minus 140, so like that wouldn't be bad.
I don't mind sprinkling that in,
Like
because if you're doing a 4-leg,
like in a parlay, I think you want to be a little safer than top.
Okay,
well,
I'll take that. I'll take top 30, Bryson.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna go up on the list. I'm gonna go with Wyndham Clark. I like
that one.
To do what?
I like top 20.
What's his odds on top 20 though?
Top 20's plus 162 is what I see. Yeah, it's 170.
Yeah, same thing. I don't mind sprinkling the top 30 just to be a little safer.
Here's my issue with that. Normally I wouldn't have an issue with that. Like, normally I'm all in on that. But defending champion last week in a tournament that's going to be similar to this week, and he played like dog shit. A few weeks ago, he had the issue with his back, and I honestly think it's still bothering him, which is the only reason I want to stay away from it, because I don't know if he's completely healthy.
All right, so then I'm gonna you veto. You veto.
That's really good, but
that's fine.
It seems like a valid argument.
That's a valid argument there, because he hasn't lately been that great.
So I'd be like all in on that. But.
Then I'm jumping. I'll take Cam Young, because I
like that pick.
That one almost scares me, like the Wyndham Clark for Noah.
I was in between. I was in between the two of them. I just want someone who can pound the golf ball.
I've heard his name come up multiple times, and just like that he's going to play well because he's in that category of
180 ball speed.
Well, he hit the long ways, and his driver's really good. But do you want to do make a cut or what? Or do you want to do?
I'd do top 30 with him as well.
Okay.
He's
plus 110 to be top 30.
Is there a top 40?
Yeah.
I think we buy a little bit. It's kind of like buying points. I think with a parlay, you're not going to lose that much.
He's minus 150 for top 40.
I mean, I don't hate that, buying it, but unless you guys really think he's going to do great.
Like, it's your guy. I'm up for either.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which
top
one?
40 or top 30?
Top 40 is fine. I don't really care.
Do you know what one I think is a sneaky pick?
Let's hear Noah's pick first.
Well, I was just gonna. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll talk about my, and we won't take this, but I'll talk about my little caption here because it goes along with this. But I am hammering Brooks Koepka top 5 bet on my own. So in terms of buying stuff, I would take him top. I really want to do top 10, but looking at his odds, if we put him top 20 in our parlay, it's pretty good. I mean, minus 125 for top 20, which I feel really comfortable about that.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
I like it. I mean, he's a PGA. That's his tournament. It just, yeah, I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I could see it not happening, but I think the chances of it happening are a lot better. But
I'll add that one.
My sneaky plug, which I think the odds would be pretty shitty for it, but what's Cam Smith to make the cut?
Cam Smith is minus 400.
Okay, so
we gonna do like top 30 or 40?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cam Smith could be kind of a sneaky pick here this week. I mean, just nobody's thinking about him, and I think
he was my alternate for our pick'em or one and done.
So I'm sure you're fine with the top 40.
Top 40 is minus 190.
I don't hate that. I'm surprised that there's that big of a swing. Like they're that confident he's going to make the cut, but they don't think he's going to do that good.
He's minus 110 to get top 30.
I'm fine with top 40. But all right, guys. I mean, since we kind of have our picks, but if you have one guy you got to pick to win it all, who's your guy? I mean, we already went through the Brooks, with our one and done picks, but is there a guy that just is there a guy you think that's going to struggle? Like, what's our hot takes for the PGA this week?
So, I mean, looking through the list, I mean, yeah, Brooks, obviously, it's hard to bet against him. It's also terribly hard to bet against Scotty, just is. Rory McIlroy, with the way that he hits the golf ball off the tee box, is also, I mean, that's hard to say because each one of those have won their last start. So it's very hard to.
Rory's won his last 2, Scotty's won his last 2, and Brooks won his last 1.
It's just.
So, and I was
are we going to. You fully count Rory's other win with.
Well, I mean, not fully,
Shane?
But I just see it as they won a golf tournament, and then he won the next week. So, obviously he's in really good form. And he even said, hey, I'm hitting the ball really well. It's I'm where I want to be. And low-key, I almost thought about putting a parlay in, and just mostly because I want to see this happen so bad, which the odds would be crazy. But
you're going to pick your top 5?
Well, I almost thought about putting a parlay in of Scotty, Rory, and Brooks all to get top 5. And because I'm just so hoping those 3 we just watch those 3 battle it out, because those 3 are the 3 that I think are really the top guys.
Yeah.
I will say though, Bryson, I can't remember what it was, but he's won he's got top 3 in 4 out of the 5 events or whatever. It's some weird number. It was like on Live, he's the guy right now on Live for the most part. He's been the most consistent. So I think he's one. I think if we get any 3 top names that can battle it out, that's all I want. I want something to be sick, and then maybe sprinkle in a huge storyline like a Michael Block last year. Something like that would be the cream of the crop.
John Abraham has also been a name I haven't heard much this week, and he's also one of those guys. If he gets hot, he's so scary.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks it's his head that may not let him win a tournament like this. Like with it being longer and harder, it's just that if he does hit the ball a little poorly, how is he going to respond with it? If that makes sense, because he's kind of a hothead, and obviously he's won a ton of huge tournaments, so his mental game is incredibly strong. But I'm just thinking like that could be something that could hold him back a little bit. But I think my best bet, which I don't think is on any Vegas books, but would be a fun one to do, is I think there's going to be at least one PGA professional to make the cut. There was only one last year with Michael Block, but I think there's going to be some guys that'll make the cut. You guys should do the PGA Championship as a fantasy thing on it. And it was kind of cool. I entered one of them. And it's you pick a past PGA champion. It's like a team of like 5. You pick a past PGA champion. You take a USA guy. You take an international guy. You take a one of the PGA pros, and then you have a wild card. So what is that? 5? Yeah, 5 of them. You pick 5 guys on your team, and I thought that was a cool little lineup. Like it's completely different.
Yeah.
Just search like PGA Championship Fantasy and do it, and like you get some prize or whatever. Michelob Ultra hosts it, but I think that was pretty cool. A little format instead of just doing the tier stuff. The tier stuff's cool, but just some little different stuff like that I think was sick. Speaking of PGA pros, Noah, you know Andrew Storm used to be in the Nebraska section. He's the one. I guess you didn't play in any of the. You weren't a member yet, but he wore a bunch of longs, like he wore the sun sleeves or whatever. But He was top 20 make it into the tournament, right? The team of 20 or whatever. And he was like in 5th place after the 3rd round. Shoots 78 the final day to get T21.
Oh,
and missed out. Yeah. I think he's down in Arizona now. But it said, like you said, it was from Omaha, Nebraska, down in like the southwest section or whatever. But I was rooting for him a little bit. Also, we may need to cut this out or something because I don't think anybody's going to watch it. But kind of pissed off on Shane Zywick. You know what I'm talking about? No? He's the teaching pro out of Highlands. He shoots 77 or something, or maybe 80. I think he shot 81 the first day. WDs. Doesn't even play the next round. And I think as if I'm anybody in the Nebraska section, there should be a penalty for doing that. I think you play it out because it's an honor to be there and you're representing the section. You don't WD unless it's a good reason. You don't WD because you played bad. Yeah. I think that's the biggest pansy move by a golfer. Like in the Nebraska Open last year or 2 years ago when I played in it, I shot 90 or 89 the first day. And I was like, okay, I played like shit, but I'm going to come back and prove that I don't suck. And I think I shot like 75 the next day, which wasn't great, but still, like I proved that I was better. There was a guy in my group. I played in a twosome the last day because one of the guys shot 77 and WD. He's like, I don't have a chance to win, so I'm not going to play. And I think that's the biggest pansy move ever by a golfer.
Yeah, I don't like golfers that WD because they don't think they can win. Like
I get it's their life and their career, so they're going to move on to the next tournament. But I still use
it as experience. I mean, there's something to be said about you playing bad and then you having the mental capacity to come back and move on and play better. Yeah. And that goes hand in hand with just your whole mental game in golf. Like you have to have a really strong mental game, and those guys, I'm not saying like they would like make it on tour or anything, but like that could very well be the reason they don't make it as far as they want to is because their mental attitude is that bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say that. I mean,
Yeah.
for anybody who watches this, like your mental capacity, and that's something that all golfers need to work on, even professionals. Like, your mental capacity is what's going to take you to the next level. I've heard multiple PGA Tour players say it, that there's multiple guys not on the tour that hit it way better than they do, but they're not on tour because they don't have the mental game to be on tour. And it's just a big part of it.
Yeah. But, I mean, we saw the mental game, the lapse of mental game I had in my US Open qualifier. Like, I wasn't mentally tough enough to commit and hit a good shot. But I use that as a learning thing. Like, you just got to learn from it, and you got to play another round of golf. And
now we're in a swing change.
Yeah. And how many times though have you seen a golfer, just any golfer whatsoever, just talk about how like one shot or one little thing that they did just completely changed their game because it just clicked in their head, right? And that can happen just playing in those tournaments, like, right? That next day after playing so poorly, you're gonna change what you did and then maybe find something. So, like, there's a lot to just be learned from playing that next round, too. And I think, like you were saying, like, by them not playing in it, they're missing out, and that's why they may never make it, you know? So, but, yeah. But shout out to Andrew Storm, man. I was rooting for the guy. That would have been sick to see one of the guys that we know and get there. That isn't with the last name Vermeer. So...
Or what's the other guy who used to be in our program that makes it a decent amount? Alex Beach.
Oh yeah, Alex Beach. Yeah, I think
he's there a lot.
Yeah,
he's played in a few. He's played in a few of them.
He's playing a few PGAs. He's playing a lot of PGA professionals. He's a really good golfer. I think he's over in like New York area or something. But yeah. Any final thoughts or anything you guys got for the PGA? You know, one last little hurrah. I know when most of you guys will be watching this, it'll just to kind of see how our picks went and everything that we talked about. Considering we'll have it posted tonight, or you guys will be watching it tomorrow. So, but yeah.
I do want to say
follow the new TikTok. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Follow the new TikTok.
We got TikTok. It's tip.it.out.
Yeah. So
follow that biatch.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do some cool things with Blake.
Watch Blake be bad at
grind out a par.
He made a par.
I do want to say congrats to the Shockey brothers on qualifying to
sectionals.
Second part of qualifying. To the final step of qualifying for the U.S. Open.
Do you know when their round's going to be? Their next qualifying?
No, I saw Alex was somewhere today. I don't think that it's that soon already. Last time it took about 3 weeks before he ended up figuring out, but
it'll be the next week or two, considering we're a month out from it.
Yeah, so super cool. Both of them tied for first at Omaha Country Club. I think 4 under was what they shot. Then too, just in how humble they are with their game and what they expect from each other and how they compete against each other as brothers, which I don't expect anything different. I don't have a brother, but I don't know. So I don't know that exactly, but just the way that they speak about each other and how their games are and what they want to strive to be is very humble and very cool. So kudos to them. Super, super awesome. Which, I mean, if both of them can qualify, that's sick. That's so cool.
Maybe if we get them to qualify, or even if they don't, we might have to have them both on and just, it'd be sick if it was like a live from Pinehurst, those two on the podcast or something.
Pretty dope.
That'd be sick.
Or if I went down to Pinehurst and we all three did it from down there.
That'd be dope too.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That's a dream.
Maybe get a guy from Mountain Air to float that bill.
Yeah, please.
Maybe we'll get our new, which you guys will be seeing too. Here probably on the next one. We have a new little sponsorship, I guess, deal thing with Southern Hills Country Club. Is it Southern Hills Country Club in Hastings or Southern Hills?
I don't know exactly what they mean by, but yes, Southern Hills Golf Club, Country Club, whatever.
So you guys will be seeing their logo up on our podcast, and then we'll eventually have a podcast with one of them, and maybe there too. I know Noah may not be able to make it there, but at least Blake will be live with them. So got some cool things coming up. I'm really excited
A lot of
about
cool
it.
things.
A lot of cool things with our own golf game that we're going to be doing, and I think it's just a cool perspective. Now we're getting into golf. You got an amateur golfer that grinds out his game with Blake and all the stuff he goes through, and then between Noah and I being PGA pros, the different stuff. Noah working at an awesome facility in North Carolina at Mountain Air. We hopefully get to see a little insight in his daily life, and then a little bit into some of maybe my teaching that I do. But got some awesome stuff coming up, and hopefully we'll have a lot more people to share it with.
Yeah, no, super, super excited. We're going to do some merch with Southern Hills. I think we're going to end up releasing and try to figure out how we can do that for everybody else.
Got to figure out how to do that first. But
I'm jacked out of my mind about it. So I hope everybody else is. I just think it's cool. I wear my hat and wear as much merch as I can just because I love it. I know that we're not super booming or anything, but it's still fun to represent something that means something. So, yeah.
Yeah,
awesome. Even though I slept through the beginning of this and had to get woken up, it's fine.
But for everybody watching this, I don't think you realize how much we appreciate it either. Just, even if it's just a handful of you guys, it's awesome that people want to listen and hear our insights. All it takes is one guy to really enjoy it for us to keep doing it. So,
yeah. Like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe. So, all right. Later.
Appreciate it, guys.
Later, guys.